Okay, so I haven't made a video in a while. I've been busy with a lot of things. But I wanted to get on here and read something out of Proverbs for you for a little bit of encouragement for someone who might need it. Chapter 8, verse 35. For whose findeth me finds life, and shall obtain favor from the Lord. But he that sins against me wrongly wrongs his own soul. All they that hate me love death. What do I get out of that? 35 says, who finds me finds life. The things that you're doing, the things you're putting your energy into that isn't from the Lord, it's going to lead you towards death. It'll lead you towards hating God because you're not getting into the Word. You're not living that godly life that God has for you. You're not fulfilling the plans that He has for your life. And we've all been there. We've all done that, man. No one's perfect. Some people, they're here and they're there. They're not doing what they're supposed to. And when you're doing that, you won't obtain that favor from the Lord. When you're not doing what you're supposed to do. When you're not doing what He's commanded you to do. And it's going to come back around on you. You do something to somebody, He's going to do something similar back to you. You make someone feel a certain way, He's going to make you feel a very similar way. And whether if you make it through that or not, that's one thing. But someone who is a true child of God, someone who has full faith in God, someone who is covered in the blood of Christ, might be going through a terrible, terrible valley, but they're going to rejoice in that. They're getting built up in that. They're learning something out of that they're going to apply when God takes them out of that valley and places that person into what God has for them. He's making you better by going through that valley. It never really feels like it. It never feels like it because there's just always things happening to you. It could be very bad things. It could be very minimal things that just add up and really seem like hell. But it's all for the glory of God. Everything is. And it's going to come to a point where you can testify for that. God, He sets the table. He's going to set the table in front of your enemies, and they're going to watch you feast because they did you wrong. They did you wrong. They feel the immense pain, the sorrow, the regret for doing what they did. But it's going to come back around on them because you had that favor, because you found life through God, not what this world has to offer. None of the drugs, sex, alcohol, the witchcraft, whatever it may be, it won't fulfill you the way God can when you're covered in the blood of Christ. That's your true protection right there. You're covered in the blood of Christ. Your true protection right there. That's your true protection. Verse 36, but he that sins against me wrongs his own soul. All they that hate me love death. You're either on one side of the fence. You're either on Satan's side. You're either operating under a satanic agenda, or you're operating on God's side. Think about it like this. If you know you're doing something for God, you're doing what God wants you to do, and people are trying to get in the way of that, they're not operating on God's agenda, not doing what God wants them to do. You know what a true child of God does? You know what we do? We build those up. We build each other up. We encourage each other. Whether we're at the all-time high or at the all-time low, we're there for each other. We are always there for each other. But when someone comes in and tries to deviate you away from God's plan, they might not be actively, a Satanist or whatever. I'm not going to accuse anybody. But God didn't send that person. If that person's trying to deviate you from what God has you doing, God didn't send that person. God did not send that person. All they that hate me love death. That really speaks for itself. Like I said, you're on either one side or the other. Satan, he's the master of confusion. He's the master of lies. He'll twist and warp your mind to some crazy things. And, he's going to try to do whatever he can to pull you away from what God has for you. That's all I got for you. Hopefully this encouraged somebody. I don't get a whole lot of views, you know what I'm saying? But hopefully at least one person watched this and one person got something good out of it to where they can apply something I said to their life. Or maybe you can even just tell another person, like, hey, I heard this, some guy talking about this the other day. Let me tell you about something. You know what I'm saying? It could really go a long way for somebody. It might not seem like a whole lot, but it's those little things that add up that go a tremendous amount of length for somebody. It could save a life. It could help someone. It could be a refresher, you know? I heard a guy, he was just talking about this. He said, if you can't change something that's stressing you out, if you can't change something that's stressing you out, you have to throw it away. If you can't change it, there's no reason to sit there and dwell on it. You got to get that thought away from you. What are you going to do? You're going to hand that over to the Father. You're going to hand that over to the Father. If you can't change something, don't sit there and dwell on it, man. You got to, or girl, whoever's watching this, you got to get that out, man. You got to hand that over to the Father and be like, Father, here, I present this to you. And whatever it is you got going on, you got to present that to the Father. And you know what he's going to do? He's going to take that from you. And he's going to replace whatever it is that's got you down, that's got you stressed. He's going to bring you through it. Is what he's going to do. He's going to bring you through that. He's going to bring you through that valley. And you're going to learn something through that valley. I promise. Hopefully this helps someone out. Hopefully. Have a good day.